Yo, assalamu alaikum, badi mulu. Tol meni be jibe wala sainten kala kontong ka fali ko al bismillah na political discussion soto. Tefong le bijan kekendo. Bina bela no yalla nyato do manne ken nga programme ko commencé pour nga bol fana ala pour ye kol kenan no ba jela ko sedno programme ko no be ngan fota foje. So badanga control malum phone na voice phone be funte kan na bang. I'm not sure. I have to control that one here. Okay, perfect. So good. So we are good to go. So assalamu alaikum badi mulu ngal konton bake ato momo yalon ke be jibero la sainten ka fali ko al bismillah na political discussion soto ko banan ngal UDP TV and media defo ngale be jam famata kana do mandinkele but alhamdulillah saying bikay mom bijane. So Badingulu na typical ko aliaji nyaming bediamula Talib Ahmed Bensouda la leadership nyina ay mentor ka jeko ka honorable Musa Ba kala resignation on ka accept and then be bintafana congratulate la pro ala new role I meng soto at the KMC as the deputy mayor for the first time in the history of the Gambia deputy mayor soto ku jamal el beje minal ko development lel minal ko gender equality lon ko lel emphasize wol jama Gambia la politiko kono mol set balang kay tande ko UDP manke masakunda but UDP is small opportunity in Minnesota on some of the crucial positions in the government and in the government and in Paris also e baje la ko UDP is making history day by day some of the things made beke kan jambela tay mo wol dol mo nani mimbira ko wol dol bekela Jamela Tamu Kamulde like a governor to many along Hanima Great will form complete. But thanks to UDP Masakunda Cabrina that we see how diverse the workforce so in Benjamin and how effective even though Nyame from the last man to the top. Look at the mayors, many along Baby Dokola UDP and a councilor na chairman or just look at them. Cabrina executive government, you know, we have seen the changes most of the development in government most of those developments the sources of funding were sustained by UDP level funds from the international donors. So these are some of the things that multi argula no if UDP comes to power, Gambia is really going to be in a safe hand. You can say anything, you can dislike UDP, but some of the exemplary leadership you will get, some of the diversity you will create at the workforces, those are some things that you cannot dispute. So we just want to say to Talib Bensouda Kafaye Kumunga Baraka Bake, Nyatonkaya Betene, Nibe Nyatonkaya la Kukera Kume Alonko, Anisilo Manta Misalfe, Nyatonko Imuka more satisfied. Nyatonko Eka Mega Kuleke Mayalonko, Willem Bankola, Willem Banko Nina interested than the individual interest. So, Mr. Bensouda, we want to say big thanks to you. I think Nyan Nakala Gambia no lesinote, Allen Nakadoma Karani Joto Fanane. Talib Ahmed Bensouda UDP la mayority. But Jamela Taimo Ngajelo Kukul Membekam. Corruption Balka Jamela Taimo. But Ninja Memam Membai Womuke Daha. Ninja Memam Membai Walai Mumuraya Bondi Ayasron Womuke Daha. Fese Bondi La Palasoloto. So it went to a point that Gambia, I for one, I lost faith in the young ones, because I felt that young people, immorality, they will continue dancing with your tune. So that's why Honorable Musa Ba, we want to thank him so much for setting that benchmark straight. So young people, many are it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be involved in an illegal practice before integrating in wala mezomeno. You cannot be working in the department where they are remote controlling you. It is as an employee, to a technocrat in any department within the government. Niman doku keno doku me alon kwete nyana kila doku ka wala nyama. Do not put your integrity at stake. The honorable thing you can do is resign from that job and you will have a better job. In fact, that makes people to love you more. And that increases your chances of having a better job. You know, in the Western countries, you can see the Western countries, like a minister will be aiming to do certain developments for his or her people. But at the end of Alatamoning, because I campaign promission ning kenyina kama. Ni watawo ning bata ning amawo campaign promission ning fulfill no. We have seen so many occasions that the ministers will resign. In Germany, was it in 2014? No. Was it in 2019 or 2020? The minister who went and lay himself down on the train station, train on Ayafa, Munemala ex-Tuesday, as the health minister, he felt he has disappointed the Germans. He didn't do enough. The thousands of Germans, many are okay father from COVID-19. I have felt like he disappointed the nation. He disappointed the country. This is how it works. Dokuwa muka mosoto, itilaka dokuwa soto. Ni believe to come no bebulo konole. Dokuwa ke yini, but you don't go search for jobs like anybody. So Musaba and Musaba has set a benchmark for every single young people in the country. Pruka yeko, mkana remote control on keno, mokana remote control no at your workplace. And the second thing is, ninkuna rakumeya longo, you have been implicated in it. Your integrity, your dignity should be at display. Pruka yeko, itela dignity ninko ye wasa. So Musa is a perfect gentleman. Musa is a perfect gentleman, and Talib Ahmed Bensouda is a perfect role model for leadership in our country. This is why you can dislike UDP. You can say whatever you want to say against UDP. But one thing for sure, that you will agree with us. Even if you're going to agree with us in your heart, I know your mouth will never tell the truth. Many people who hate UDP, of course, they will never say anything. They will never say anything, even if it is the carbon fruit. Simply because UDP la tonyalo. So Gambia kuwa futata stage of stage me alongo handing tonya fundita tonya me alongo. It is an indisputable truth. As long as abe UDP le favor kan walanto UDP le voto nya nyimbara, they're not going to talk about it in the public. Munafik. Munafikola Tam and Siro follow Dola Nyam. So Talib Ahmed Bensouda, we want to say a big congratulations to you and your team. And Musa Ba, raise your head up. You are a perfect example of a gentleman. And you show to the Gambian people that we can do this together. We can reserve and protect our integrity. Our integrity should matter a lot. The Wolomona Constanti, integrity, it has always been my concern. That's why most of the times I write about integrity, the lack of integrity in that zoo government of Adam Barrow, the cabinet that has no integrity at all, the cabinet that has no value, because near integrity you will lose. Literally, you are just living like a skeleton. You live on nothing. Integrity in Nima Wasoto, your life is meaningless. You can gather all your wealth. You can gather everything, fame and everything else. At the end of the day, wo fengonyi yembe besoto, wo toni yembe besoto, a baby girl komungo fufio. Bunje ka memfo ala kasedo do bije. Mo me yalon komunga muka sali. Wala ko muka munya bano because munakake mo ning amuka sali. Hanning ay mune gada nyokam. Hanning ay dunya la fortune be gada nyokam. There comes a time wo fortune nyinka vanish le aka disappear le ando amuka manegno. Integrity be wala nyam. Integrity be wala nyam. So KMC administration, I think the entire country should applaud the KMC's administration, Talib Ahmed Bensouda, for setting that benchmark straight for the Gambian people. And that serves as a very good example for the entire country. Every young person in the country should be proud of Talib Ahmed Bensouda. Nyerea Sabong Talib Ahmed Bensouda as one of the main authorities within the UDP, and I mean an executive member of the UDP, to come up with such a great, bold decision in the interest of the council and at the interest of the country. So tell every single Gambian that UDP government is going to be a very different government compared to Adama Barrow's government, compares to that zoo government of Adama Barrow, a cabinet full of zoo members who has nothing to offer to the Gambian people. Every single department in Gambia is functioning. Nothing is working in that country, but yet they beating their chest because they believe the Gambian people are fools. They believe that we are fools. I will tell you the difference between UDP government, Ning Anata, based on this exemplary act and in bold decision of Talib Ahmed Bensouda and the KMC Council, compare that to what has been happening in Adama Barrow's government. And as I wrote yesterday, European Union recent statement, their recent stand against the Gambia government is going to be a justification to what I'm going to say here. So most of the times, we are not just sitting down to make things up, but we sit down and say things based on hard facts. Based on hard facts. Some will argue that this is, they are politicians. They would not say anything good because they are oppositions. Because they are oppositions. We can be oppositions, but being an opposition, America munkumalafo. Opposition not be clear. Nigel countries like Tanzania, they have very credible opposition opposition members. They have that. So literally, Talib Ahmed Bensouda and ala KMC mismanagement and they did the investigation and they realized that Mr. X and X and X are the one responsible, Mr. X and X. Now the decision at the interest of the country and the council at large would be to relieve some of those people who were found guilty. And they are not exactly found guilty, just like Musa Benjamin. But since he knew something about it, I have integrity raised up. Just like it is happening in every developed country. And he wrote his resignation and resigned. So bravo, brother Musa Ba. Ning yagele Adama Barrow la masakunda corruption o bebe kerin nande. Ibe more dictate kan to a point that every credible young man working under Adama's government becomes inefficient and ineffective in the responsibilities designed to them. Mania Sabong, because I feel like this is the only hope that we have. That's why every Tom and Harry need another presidency though. They can do whatever they want to do, and they got away with it. Look at how illiterate Adama Barrow is. That is the man dictating and commanding every illegal activity, ranging from corruption to human rights abuses. Wolbeke and Gambia. And still now, the people on the authorities, let's say the police department, the cabinet members, they cannot insist on some of those stupid decisions, Barola government at the detriment of the entire country. I will give you, for instance, now look at the environment. The Minister of Environment. Look at what is happening in Tangier. Look at what is happening in the URR. Look at what is happening in Sanya. Look at what is happening in Banjul at the coast. Look at what is happening in all these regions. And still now, just because of the interest, the mega gain that the government is having in all these regions, the Minister of Environment do not see this fit or necessary enough for him to challenge and stand against it. And if his advices are not taken, since he is a technocrat, if his advices are not adhered to, then the honorable thing is, I resign. Yagele, new wasifa kera environment to Nintaraka resign. Even the president will realize that this is a new government. This is a new Gambia. People want to take charge. People want to exercise their expertise to the best of their abilities. Bongo be mufla. You can agree with me or you can disagree with me. But this is the hard fact, and this is the only way our country can move forward. This is the only way we can move forward. Agree? Fine. You can disagree? Fine. No problem. I do not have any single problem with that. Now let's go to the comparison. One thing I know for sure, but one thing I know for sure, when it comes to corruption on Babo Kelelal, just like Magufuli did it in Tanzania. Magufuli came 5 years ago, or let me say 7 years ago. But at the first 5 years, as the president, I Tanzania transformed like I anti-corruption ole londi, anti-corruption o me alongo it gain Tanzania. I could men come on Tanzania because Tanzania benu nyameng gosu waka so lebe fare system okono from Dr. Lambang no so lembang gosu waka so membe Tanzania no data la tialo and in all other departments. Kabre wo anti-corruption o nyilondi I could men ta I save Tanzania la masa kunda I could only beka tal free mulle ko be sunya kabre wo anti-corruption o nyilondi I every single month kodo me alon ka katale almost $90 million I will save Tanzania la masakunda do sign Tanzania masakunda imira 19 million multiplied by 12 that is how many millions work project back at Tanzania. So wakodo ni menda marketing hanu fonse kedo Tanzania la annual budget nintile. This is what Magufuli did. But look at Barrow. El Barrow ni nyamen kumungo this man is corrupt and he is not fit to rule any country other than the zoo. He's the zoo president. Really? Thinking about Barrow, the only creature you can think of him being capable to rule. That's why I call him the zoo president. He's so unfit. Ikoyel accessor declare. Amanson kal accessor declare. Kabringe lonteng along komungonyi. Nyimbanke motin, ngamira nyame. Anti-corruption and all these things were part of the recommendations. All these things were part of the agendas. We established a system that will be used, and nobody dare to mess up with that system if we do not have good institutions. And institutions are guided by the system. They are guided by the systems. So if we do not have that good system, we can never have any good development in that country. You can go and bring all the experts. You can go and bring all the best experts in the world. Ye kamana Gambia government, without the good system, without good institutions, they cannot do anything. They cannot deliver because if they would be remote controlled by that illiterate. This is the difference. Now look at this, what I'm going to say here. Sometime this year, $820 million that belongs to the GRA is missing from our central bank. $820 million. $820 million. Ninankono, aliyamole wole Mr. Mayor Longo GRA la kodolom Gambia Revenue Authority wole la kodomo wole mutala affiliated central bank momala kete nyamen under the watch of Mambura Njai Adama Barrow's government momalo menketa akwoni no repercussion momeda ha imamu caution commissioner lora commissioner nafatala because Adama Barrow la masakunda commissioner na lora nafamu kakala wokodo nyintara muntoto. Well, I presume or I assume MPP ila budget toto gina sa fe mankije ni malawala Adam Barrow la koda membe manka mankunda moita ba ayo koda muta aya wafi for Adam to step down because where tell affect directly and he has not benefited it niaje $820 million Gambia dollars over full Gambia kono abe bola GRA molla revenue ka bodamento molla namo ka bonandamento molla ko ka kedamento way fili central bank ko mala kete nyame kiskisi ro keta moma muda hansay Adama dabe gele maninkol kamon fo ninjalo singo be loring ke ga nyadi le fota ngoka tanta mo kuma tanta wote kumala woketa on the Adama Barrow's government NPP government nothing happened there. Imagine the amount Mefilta Talib Ahmed Bensouda what amount of Mr. Gay and what investigation okay you could no longer dunda nyabe ye absolute ye bold enough credibility. This is where the difference lies between individuals. Credibility, and they are bold enough, to come out to the Gambian people to explain to the taxpayers, because that money in the council belongs to the taxpayers. It belongs to the taxpayers. That's why Bensouda Funditana with the team to come and explain to the very taxpayers the missing money, where it went to, where that missing money went to, because that is what the taxpayers deserve. That's what they deserve. Typical UDP government. Typical UDP government. Let's go to the second corruption. Menkata Arumbarola Masakunda. Nawek, $50 million. Meya Lonko Wole Mr. Nawek. $50 million. From Mamfoye, investigation oketa. Naweko bank manipulation oketa. From Mamfoye on the Adama Barrow's watch. Director member Adama Barrow le asindige Nawek. Director member Nawek. Adama Barrow le asindige. Investigation oketa from Mambo the investigation. Nobody knows which is which. Nobody knows which is which. Okodo nyimfarantara mutoto NPP la budget okono. NPP la budget okono. Ina sabu akafo nyoko. Ninte bora Masakunda. Mo defense tola ibafula menna ko Gambia Masakunda la julol benna. Ni atela julo mantara Gambia Masakunda. That is the utterances because I can make it. Akanyi kodol tanantene ya claim ko mo be filter. So atekala no ko directly abutata ya. But yalo manengol ka mfo. Ya jambe ku jamatinya e ko jamatinya. Berabe sire watu mena moma wol dollo. Hani ko dal ali jibe ya jambe ko da jamasato. Kabringa be sire watu mena nobody knows that wo compound where his assets. But kabringa wulita jane commission starter. Ali aje loko ko dal clink ke be funtita. Alngata Gambia nyine asabu Adama Barrow alnyen naka katale hanne munakita Adama manya nakasi puruka tambina banko nyaro in the next 5 years ni mansaya bala and he's so desperate puruka kenya don't go the hand side, let him go to the zoo and become that zoo president that he is. Let's go to the third one. 2,280 bags of fertilizers were stolen from his Ministry of Agriculture. 2,280 bags of fertilizers. Aliyo kalam tajana fertilizers sunya ni menga angkakirante. 4 million scandal at the Fisheries Department. Aliyo kalam tale Fisheries Department through the investigation of Mustafa Swandi Dabo. Aliyo kalam tale Fisheries Department. Wokodi bale filter ye for a filter to a point that itata ida malu ye justice department la bumu de yajani pour kaytol men be evidence ol be kaytol men be pour kaytol letinya because if on le jejani pour kaytol ni be tinya kaytol be fi bol be kena adam baro la masakunda ko nole kumam foje kumam moje momam kuma moje momam bay momam foje 3 tons of cocaine was intercepted 3 tons of cocaine at least one of the highest quantity of cocaine being intercepted in Africa Bukera Gambia the Smiling Coast and the first of its kind under Adama Barrow's government. They claim that the owner of that cocaine was Banka Keita. Nobody knows where Banka Keita is. And according to the Gambian data, according to the citizens' data in the Gambia, there is nobody in that name Banka Keita. Banka Keita is just a ghost name. But the real owner of that cocaine is either Adama Barrow or one of his close entourage. Think about all these things. Alinga mina nyibela Gambia. Besiring hansa nyina ka funden kan nan pulunga makoy bank ay tambi nyina ka funden kan akay tandi na ko mo kay banko la interest ro ning ay banko la interest ro ñu be rekel bi dunia dula do be di tata ge Gambia la kay tandi la ko Gambia la kay to ko itol ma Gambia la kay to sudi kay to ko kay to mi ko kay tiken dollo amanke fendi because now Gambia is seen globally as a very corrupt nation. Now Gambia is seen globally as one of the corrupt countries in the world. That's why I needed a bank. Some of the big countries, some of the countries that family stands against corruption and fraudulent acts. Will it Gambia la kaito kaiti? Iti aboni na Gambia. Imukaje kaiti ti kaito mi alon koiba accept la. Last year, the health minister also confessed about the corruption in his ministry at the parliament. So the poor citizens are paying 3,500 weekly to have dialysis in our hospitals. But Ali, Minister of Health, Dr. Samadi Aliamoy Palimino last year, Cabrera Diamuta work scandal bala will be fem mankeje. The COVID-19 scandal fem mankeje. Under Adama Barrow's government, 32 murder cases and 19 robbery cases will be and Mumur Mandimoleti will be kew fenam fundige because Adama has failed the country. 32 murder cases. No single apprehension because even the police department are not sophisticated. The police are doing their best. They are doing their best job. But what is left for us to move that department further is for the officers, especially the top officers, to be bold enough to know that this job is for them and let them not be remote controlled. Let them not be remote controlled. So in cases all men who be falling from Kodoto, from Kokenoto, Kodol men be filter nante. Ninata COVID-19 scandal of another. 280 million Gambian dollars is from Madagascar COVID-19 scandal under Barrow's government. The Koroke Bako Kono, itati ko Kododi bolal hand to hand. So Gambia campaign yo sida le say na furital kan nan ko afonga manfo amanke campaign yo ekato nyalafo e ka fani alafo molie. This is his own words. What makes you people believe that I will falie I ake 2016 alwokta mune asaba takala so ko say me alonko ay mol sarafon bala mini alonko they don't even know their left from their right. All what they are interested at is ibekodo sotla nyame ibe balu la nyame ana beta defani afola. Look at their words. Look at their words. Look at their words. Bit na topic labang because manda mela jam. So what I'm gonna do is I think I will share a link. Link ko ni share la. Yes. So I'm feeling link ko share la. Ninga link ko share, link ko share la Facebook live to. Ni mela can join and you can join through the link. Namera manta ka telephone wele. So ni mela can join, you can join me through the link. Ni link ko ni niya click ibinala nole. Nimmo ni link ko click rek dan ibinala no kanin video la yeah. Yes, nimmo ni link ko click ibinala no anin video la. So you can join me, please. Nimela fraka join, you can do that, please. Yabajala ko you can join me because left ka WhatsApp yala, but I think let me not open WhatsApp. So nimela fraka join. Afilanga link ko kije. You can just click on this link, abe directly, then you can come through the video. You meet me here so that you can also join the conversation. But this is what is happening literally in the Gambia. This is what is happening. So now last topic of Bekalamenti, NPP ya start like a dun sate from the regions, Purgamola Cartel Sam. ya commencé la parce que may fotata bulato me alon ko soxita ye mola carte o sang me alon ko defo nga mari lon ya la carte o muta ya sanga bulo kono amari fo ngole afonye so, you know ko soxite wala carte o sang. So this has started. NPP man chance of the Purka Katre win. Forget about their alliance with AFPRC. Let us not forget that AFPRC is never AFPRC that you people know. From 2016 to date, AFPRC has been disintegrated. AFPRC literally today, they have only one support base. That is Phony. And even Phony, monkey absolute AFPRC anymore. They baring kundalam Phony. They don't Phony lot. Satel before you many alonko. In fact, oppositions will have more vote in those areas than AFPRC itself. And even with their alliance with Adama Barrow, Jamedia Mutawo, Jamemandia Mufu, they are support bank 100%. But I can tell you this, handling Jamele Adela Diamata, Phony is never going to be an absolute for AFPRC anymore. That is out of it. So literally, Alaka you supporters all Mendia Adam Barrow Noka. 80% of those supporters are AFPRC members already. Support so literally Hana Monkey BD FPRC has been in coalition with Adam Barrow a long time ago. So this official pronouncement of the coalition doesn't make any difference. They cannot get or give Adama any winning victory in December 5th or 4th. Ni ayatra manna katewol wafi. Ninga na katewol wafi nak. That is another story. Ina sabu mediam la UDP di woni alenga na family ko mandi bang alenga ko mandi every day because I ninga na kala ngi denk lol alenga ko mandi bang kaita di la kato kana sang e kana kato ni wafi Adama Barrow because that is the only thing that they can do now pour ka mo la kato sang ni man kato sang there is no hope for these people but ni kato sang then supporter demande wol ben be bulo kono supporter demande wol ben be bulo kono of course bobe do dile la. So kateo nyen bediamla na mole pour kateo nyen ikana wole wafi because MPP mean everything that they are doing. They made it. Iko kodo nyema for $280 million. Ibabe use la ni ye chance to pour kamola katel sam. Na fale nyame ya kumasele in the West Coast region it has started because they have the useless militants in the West Coast region. Moli be kono meni ango sai go fan solo wol na mang fenno family. So kabir wol yage moto di wol dolla wol aka jarel ne ko bege pour yage ko mungai kato sano Adama Barrow. So this is what is happening. Let us call our family members. Because the fact of the matter is, you know, take kato sano la damanti alon ko gema ke UDP la stronghold. So they only go to UDP strongholds. Ye kato sangye NPP la strongholds ya blagi because wol ngana ka fele. So UDP la molu e batole la carte dala pour ya make sure adol kana carte fay and that becomes a reduction for the UDP. While all the NPP supporters are going to vote, UDP supporters are not going to vote, and that becomes an invalid vote. And that is a minus for the UDP. Right now, this is the only opportunity. This is the only hope. Trust me, let us not even make this thing complicated. This is the only hope. Adama Barrow secretary fa woni ngasa wi no nyame. Wala mo ning isoksida ko yemeke nyamina. Kamulla karte sang UDP la supporters ko la karte sang. Ke kareni kurano la ko mongo benin ko di kareni le ye kareni kurano la ko mongo te fun la karaka to fay hanni ma fay to le bari te fun la karaka to fay ye ko do dila ye kurano mo ya dila so alanga na mol fanga ni bela because dorga jela ko mongo ni kala kurano la then whatever ye kurano ni kala mankan ye kurano wuledi bo manyan naka buy because kurano is so powerful. That's our belief. That is our belief. So ikaw wala ke ye kan ye ko do dila ye la karte ko so je bloko no oh ni ma songola ye kan Yekodi badila, ya itandila ko leftale ikana kate ofay. Mkafo ede kumunga ya fay ntoliye. Leftale ikana kate ofay. Ye kurano dila, ye kalindi kurano la kumunga ite kate ofay la jin kate fay no. Ye la kodo dila. So ye baje la ko niyo ke keba tanela. Keba kono do beta kate ofay la. Because mon silata kurano la bakal anu wala mu tonyati. Ba o kube yalo ala fon la kumolo. Ni ye kali woka. Ye kala kan ko kulenya na ko barale. So alenga na molu update ni bela ba. Let us tell these things to our people. Let them understand. Because they started the intimidation. So ngamira mo be jibero la bakata la bakele ngana molu update bang. Please, ngana molu update. I'm gonna more update bang. Yes, let us update our people. So now last topic of government malafika jam faji because I don't want to give relevance to any group me aloke manafaso. Mengara APRC. APRC aliagele kunu idade la petition on submit against the TRRC. But we understand that Komongo Nying has been orchestrated by Adama Barrow pour kaje Komongo APRC de. It's a petition or somebody ya submit. A bagala ni a petition or submit to the Ministry of Justice. Wofanam bao Adama TRRC molu dunia fo be alon de kare TRRC ni mutal ka recommend. Dina sabu babu ya sude ekonomi be diala. Aba follow lale. That zoo president I could do the menkono is going to tell that to these people. So I APRC nkolu sumundi konoto pour wole fundi ye balamba etandi TRRC la recommendation la e bagala ko atese another justification or sort no because akanyine claim kala saka kamulel ke claimoti so bagala ko ase another justification or sort no mone asabu among certain recommendations in that document among will implement APRC la funto APRC la protest against the TRRC abe adamal babe koma etolleli abe plan so akana get more kusilang kuti but quickly nibiye is it the APRC misleading themselves or they allow Adama to mislead them? Because one thing for sure that Gambia no belama Jammeh cannot be saved by Barrow. Yes, Jammeh can be pardoned to come to the Gambia and leave, but Jammeh's human rights abuses can never be pardoned by Adama Barrow. That is even above the Gambia. At this moment, we have victims in the Gambia. Many of them, they have their institution. And even those victims alone can trigger Jammeh to go to international criminal court. Do we know that? Whether Gambia government cooperates or not, it doesn't matter. Whether Gambia government cooperates or not, it doesn't matter. It cannot stop Jammeh from facing the human rights abuses. We are talking about the Ghanaians here. We are talking about the Ivorians, the Senegalese. Jammeh human rights abuse against all these people. Now the point is APRC may understand because APRC handle it they cannot win. This is very clear. This is very clear. APRC can never win election anymore in that country. They cannot even fall second in any election in the country. APRC the base is only phony, and even phony is not absolute APRC anymore. This is the hard fact. In some regions in the Gambia, APRC will not, pull 10 votes. 10 votes. Apart from phony, there are many regions. APRC, if the total number of people residing in a particular region, apart from phony, 21,000, APRC will score less than 500. From that 21,000, this is the hard fact. So APRC cannot win. But now the point is, APRC, ning Allah patiote, and ning Adama Barrow alliance in form. Ning Adama alliance form. Allah patio ning literally APRC abe banna 2021 election on general. Whether Adama win or Walama win, APRC is going to be no more. But APRC, in fact, Allah supporting probably, and if you mark these words. The end of APRC is going to be when they form a coalition with Adama Barrow. Because it doesn't make any difference. Only Adama coalition will form. Walla Anama form. Allah chances ning pro alia win as a coalition. It's 0%. It's 0%. We are talking about the statistics. We are talking about the statistics here. So it is going to be 0%. Because ni Adama be system moment funding di kanang Gambia kono benga melong Adama be system moment funding di kanang Gambia kono wolo ni di pruka siol dambang rake kuyandi. So now let's look at it. Ngatala by district ngaji be percentage of people living in this particular region. So nin karte fayo ke nyama because whether we agree or not in the Gambia now na karte fayo binaka nyina kan momo yemem tafine adron yekarte fayo way without caring about agenda benyamin alaftaka munekalia musiva nyadi long like the backgrounds and all those things. We don't care about that anymore. Bam. Now let's go with that. This is a clear mathematics and this is a very simple mathematics. FPRC and Barola coalition has no hope, but that is going to be justified. This should be your last weapon. Kabrin 2016 na kelo membeke nga boro membeke nga uro membeke usian no nga rally membe ate nga kodol membeke ale fonsa je ngol membe don nantem fumbadada. last hope munyinati nakate unkana wafi ning alman kate wafi fujani December you people are going to the state house. You people are likely going to the state house. That is ning alman kate onyu wafi. But ning alia la kate wafi ibato la kate will be mabola then adamalo domandi will account la. So which means they are going to win. So felembe program onyi bada nejam because mammo soto jamme alon ka binala ka contribute nga linko ke na Facebook otoge adam be jibe rola from the Facebook nga linko ke je nga pin melonapp.com nga ke jele nga pin ni mela fa kan join the video la you can click on this link here now you can say what you want to say ibajala ko se kachani se kachani kesa dun kacha ko ye contribute but ni mammo soto den ba fankala plunga programo ni nga kuntu jam bajala ko sita for maybe sana jaju fanam binala bisudo abinala programo lo jam. So I thank you all. Kafali ko ala baraka bake menu be jon na jam. Faifatu fadera baraka tafa sira koroge atondi no madawa baraka bake. Thank you bro. Dr. Soli, thank you Dr. Soli. Mahmoud Sane, Ibrahim Fadera, Binta Sheikh, Omar Keita, Lyman Job, thank you. Ndea Jallo, thank you. Jalang Kinte, bro. Baraka wake. Maimuna Sen, thank you. Thank you. Maimuna Sen, thank you. Alhaji Ibrahim Conte, baraka wake. Bade bungkolo miteti. Gaitan bade bungkolo tibo. Keva Gasama, baraka wake, brother Keva. Pana Bros, baraka wake. UDP Kian Keneva. Say that again, Zoo President. Go. Jumala muni UDP Kian Keneva. Ide beda bandila because ita mun fongolet. Gaita mun fongolet. Ite safana dumawa Musa Sawane baraka bake Musa ko please I don't think even animals he can take no namo ke mbafangala mbawafindal Solomon Jane abaraka bake Moro Kamara baraka brother Moro Bakseka brother Baks ibinyadi akata famoti okay Mustafa Marena, thank you brother Mustafa. So mbadi ulu ala baraka bake ngalong program mo sa MB badana janeto kafal beko ala baraka bake for joining us sana binala in the evening kana tenteng political discussion on. So ala baraka bake. Assalamu alaikum.